here's a nutty idea. And as you may know, if you saw where I posted what we were going to talk about today, we're going to talk about prepping for snacks. But this is really just one idea. There's so many ideas when it comes to snacking, but this is a really neat idea. And it's about prepping some nuts that we can eat. But you know what? A lot of you may just wonder, are nuts even healthy for us? Because there are a lot of conflicting messages out there about nuts. So I just wanted to start real quick with a couple of things that Dr. Greger teaches, because he does research on this and he only reports the things that are very verified in science and in research. So let me just read you what he says about nuts, because he says sometimes it feels like there just aren't enough hours in a day to get everything done. I'm pretty sure we all identify, right? So instead of trying to make your day longer, why not make your life longer by an extra 2 years? That's about how long your lifespan may be increased by eating nuts regularly. Wow, that's pretty impressive. One handful, or about a quarter of a cup, 5 or more days a week. He goes on to tell over here that study after study after study, people who eat nuts tend to live longer and suffer fewer deaths from cancer, heart disease, and respiratory disease. He goes on over here to teach us that even though a lot of us are concerned that they add weight, he said that those concerns are for the most part unfounded. He said that people, when they were studied, they found that they either gained much less weight eating nuts than they imagined, or no weight at all, or sometimes they even lost weight. And so nuts are healthy enough that that's not the concern that many of us think. But you know what? One of the things is making sure that we're eating nuts that are healthy. So whenever you're purchasing nuts, one of the things you want to look for is single ingredient, because the marketers are so sneaky. And what you'll find is very often when you're buying nuts that they have added oil, and that's the worst. You want for the nuts not to have added oil, not to be cooked in oil, because almost assuredly, unless you've really studied that product that you're buying, the oil has been very highly processed and highly heated. And so even though it may just say on the ingredients oil and nuts, please look for those that don't have that oil. Those are going to be healthier, and as much as possible raw. So today we're going to mix some toasted with some raw, but I also have a website that I have found that just has some wonderful raw nuts. So I was not able to find raw pistachios, but the website that some friends of mine have given me actually has where we can get even raw pistachios and other nuts. So I will post that in the comments. So Paul and Dorothy Worthington, I'll just go ahead and tell you, they have inspired me. And we've prepped nuts before, but we have in the past so often just done like just almonds for a week and then maybe just walnuts the next week and so on and so forth. So we have mixed them in the past, but I was really just reminded by them that when we just mix a lot of them together, we get a lot of different benefits, because Dr. Greger teaches us that Brazil nuts are very good for cholesterol. And he talks about pistachio nuts being good for sexual dysfunction. He talks about that walnuts are good for cancer and other things. And he tells us that if you had to just pick one nut, that walnuts are a superstar. So, you know, maybe you want to buy 2 bags of the walnuts and just 1 bag of the other nuts, but we need all of them because they just have so many good benefits. So I have here some pecans and walnuts and almonds. You can get these at Sam's or at Costco, and they are just the walnut, almond, and pecan. That's all that are in these. And then these are toasted, but other than, I think they may have a little bit of sea salt, which is preferred not, but to mix a little bit of these in just for the toasty yumminess of a snack is really an okay. They do not have any added oils. So I have taken these today, macadamia, pistachio, and my walnuts, pecans, and almonds, and then some of these also, the sprouted pumpkin seeds. This could be a variety of mix, and I have just put about a half a bag in this bowl. And then I just take these little jars. You may have seen me use them before. These you can get at Walmart, but again, you don't have to get out and buy something to be able to prep. What do you have already? Just, you know, you can even get little baggies. And a lot of times when you buy fresh nuts, if you're not eating them quickly enough, you really need to store them in the fridge or the freezer, because they go rancid more quickly than some of the nuts that have oils. But we just prep these after these are mixed. Then just prep them by putting in the little jars. And you've probably seen before that I love just storing and little things that keep my refrigerator looking organized. So it does not always stay real organized, but it helps my head to be able to look in there and see it more organized. So I have 8 of these today, which since Paul and I put walnuts and different things on our salads, and we eat them at other times, then this is perfect for prepping for a week for us. And here's what's so beautiful about if you put these together ahead of time, you're running out the door and you've got them. Because when we get busy, if you're like me, then if I don't have something I can grab easily, I am very likely going to grab something that's not as healthy as I would have if I'd had something prepared. And this is absolutely delicious, absolutely good for you, and just so easy to prep ahead of time every week. One other idea, there are a couple of other ideas, and since we have learned from Dr. Greger how healthy it is to eat nuts, then you can just think of so many ways. They can be made into dips and salad dressings and just so many things. But one other idea, I went ahead and put this together ahead of time, but I have some dried fruit. Here are some dried mangoes, and here are some dried figs. Again, you have to be very careful because they will add some sulfur products that, to preserve, that aren't really good for us, and we want to stay away from those preservatives. So, be careful when you buy dried fruits as well. But if you want to just cut up in these particular cases, I had to cut these up. I have some kitchen scissors, and I was just able to cut these up into small pieces. I have some raisins, and just added them with some of the nuts that I'd already mixed and made a little trail mix. Paul loves trail mix, and he will absolutely love this. And again, variety. You can use different fruits as long as you find fruits that are, without the preservatives and that don't have added sugar or things like that. These are just mango, and these are just figs, and these are just raisins. I got each of these at Costco, but look wherever you're shopping, and then there are lots of choices online. But when you get in bulk like this, so many times you're saving, and that's one of the good parts. So, all right, I think that is the biggest part of that, but maybe you saw where I also told you I was going to share a little dessert idea. So I used to not be a fan of dates, but I learned that I think the biggest reason was because I wasn't finding really good dates. These dates were at Costco, and I don't know tons about dates, but it says medjool or something, and I'm embarrassed that I don't even know how to pronounce it. They're just dates, okay? But this was a good date, a really good date. And when you find good dates like this little dessert is unbelievable. So these had seeds in them, so it was really simple to take the seed out, and I take each half of a date and just fill it with pecans. You could probably do it with one of the other nuts also, but we did it with pecans, and they are so yummy. I think you would be surprised how yummy these are. And so I just want to encourage you to try that, because after you have a meal and you just want that little something sweet, well, what a delicious thing when we can go and find something like this that not only just satisfies that, but we're really getting nutrients, and it's really healthy for us. So I would encourage you to just give that a try this week. And if you get a chance to try it, I would love to just hear in the notes what you thought about it. Also, if there are some nut mixes you put together, I'd love to hear about it. Just tell me which ones you mix and how you put that together, because it's always fun to hear about what other people. As a matter of fact, this particular mix and doing some of these, as I mentioned, we kind of learned from our precious friends Paul and Dorothy Worthington. So, okay guys, we've been talking about smoothies, and if you've made that a habit, you're headed in the right direction. We've talked about having salads most of the days of the week, a great big salad, and then today we talked about adding nuts. We are headed to a new you in 52, one little step at a time, and it's so good to be here with you. I love spending this time with you, and we will see you next week, okay?